From the BG Podcast Network studios, brought to you by Chattahoochee Tech, this is your Paulding County News Podcast, bringing our stories to life with news, events, and what we're talking about in Paulding County. Like, follow, and subscribe to hear the latest news from the Paulding County News Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. For you, about you, from you. Call us now to get in on the conversation at 404-997-8655. That's 404-997-8655 or info@bgadgroup.com. And here's what you're talking about.
Welcome to your Paulding County News Podcast. I'm Melissa Carter, along with Doug Harding. A Georgia man gets in trouble trying to purchase a gun. Plus, what if you were forced to live with your ex? Many such couples are in a situation like that. We'll tell you why. But first, Sonia Ray, a metro area breast cancer survivor, will turn her journey into hope for others during the Rose Bowl parade tomorrow. After facing stage 3B breast cancer twice, Ray founded Harbor of Hope, a nonprofit aiding minority women in their cancer battles and emphasizing the racial disparities in cancer outcomes. Ray will be part of City of Hope's Rose Parade float, sharing her message of awareness, early detection, and overcoming obstacles. So congratulations to her. You can see her and the parade New Year's Day, 11 a.m. This from 11 Alive.
Honda's U.S. unit is recalling around 106,000 CR-V hybrid SUVs due to a battery cable issue that could pose a fire risk in case of an accident. The recall affects models years 2020 through 2022. A missing fuse on the 12-volt battery cable outside the vehicle might lead to a short circuit or overheating during a crash. Honda assures free replacements and affected owners will be notified by mail on January 29th. If you have any concerns, contact Honda customer service at 888-234-2138 or visit nhtsa.gov for more information. This from CBS News. Rite Aid faces a 5-year ban on facial recognition technology following a Federal Trade Commission decision. The drugstore's chain's improper use of the technology resulted in false accusations disproportionately affecting people of color. The FTC's legal complaint highlighted thousands of false positive matches leading to customers being wrongly accused of shoplifting. Rite Aid failed to inform customers about its facial recognition use and discouraged employees from telling the people. The company, while pleased with the agreement, disputes the allegations. The FTC emphasized the importance of protecting individuals from unfair biometric surveillance. This from ABC News. Coming up, how long do you think you could live with your ex? We'll get to that, but now let's check weather for Paulding County. As we're ringing in the new year, tonight we'll have clear skies and a low of 35. New Year's Day brings rain with a high of 57 and a low of 36. Tuesday's going to be cloudy with a high of 49 and a low of 32.
98.7 Chat Tech, where 98.7% of our students earn a career.
What we did at Chattahoochee Tech mainly focused on the more environmental aspect of that: soil sampling, stream assessments, land assessments, and then also the geographic interface with that as well.
The majority of our students are on the traditional side, but we do have a pretty big percentage. I'd say, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, around 30% of the students are non-traditional who do come back, who've been working in the field for years and want to get a degree in engineering.
So many of the instructors that work here are so passionate about what they teach because they come from that field. And, the first week is, hey, how you doing? And the next week is, let's grab this gear and go out and shoot video and then put it together. Let's work on figuring out how to be storytellers.
Visit chattahoocheetech.edu, where 98.7% of our students earn a career.
We're back with more of your Paulding County News Podcast.
From WSB's Facebook page, a Coweta County man faces charges after an unusual incident at Academy Sports. According to authorities, Michael Boot was arrested after attempting to load a gun he intended to purchase inside the store. When an employee intervened, snatching the gun away, Boot refused to leave. He now faces charges of obstruction and criminal trespass. Ronald Davidson said he must have been scared of someone. Don Lester tried to respond. My comment didn't meet community standards, so he responded that they took it off. Curtis Winston offered both charges are misdemeanors. How would that keep people from purchasing a firearm? Granted, he can't go back to Academy. I will say this type of behavior has a mental issue written all over it. Got to stop ignoring the signs.
Got to give kudos to that store employee. He jumped into action and could have, potentially saved a lot of people. Yeah,
absolutely. From 11 Alive's Facebook page, mortgage rates are dipping, but at 7%, the market isn't bouncing back just yet. Now, we're not talking about, money or finance. What we're talking about is couples facing divorce during this peak are finding it financially challenging to part ways. Take the Tontonis in Arizona who decided to divorce in August, but remained under the same roof. It only took 2 months for Mrs. Totones to move out, but finding a buyer for their house remains a challenge. Michelle Wetzel said, "War the Roses too?" Rebecca Porter responded, "Maybe they can find a way to fall back in love." Gerard Mata, though, offered, "Stay married, nothing out there." And Billy Bob said, "Dude, hide the money from your now ex-wife, save up, buy an RV, and leave." Gosh, could you imagine?
No, thank you.
Your weird story for the day. Not sure if you've put up your Christmas tree yet or had the conversation whether or not to keep an old artificial one. That was always in my family. Do we keep this tree or do we throw it out now? But it's not as old as this one. 103-year-old artificial tree. 103 years old. Considered one of the first mass-produced, has found a new home in Britain. Hanson's auctioneers revealed that the humblest Christmas tree in the world, which means it looks like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, stood at 2.5 feet tall, and fetched a total of $4,296.
Nice.
Originally bought in 1920, the tree with its 25 branches, 12 berries, and 6 mini candle holders is believed to be an historic piece likely purchased at Woolworths in London. So there you go. This from UPI. Don't keep your artificial tree, though, if it's looking ranky.
No.
What's happening in Paulding County? We've got you covered.
Some events tonight beginning at 8. City of Hiram's New Year's Eve block party at 217 Main Street. February 24th at 9 o'clock. Write this down on your calendar. Hot Rod Walt and the Psycho DeVilles at 278 South in Hiram.
Coming up, a recent report suggests that technical colleges are seeing a rise in enrollment because there's more jobs available in those areas. Is it true? We're going to speak with Missy Kuzak, who's Vice President of Student Affairs at Chattahoochee Technical College, to see what she's seen.
Angie Chavez is an experienced real estate agent serving Paulding, Cobb, and other counties in Georgia for 24 years. She is dedicated to serving her clients and has extensive knowledge of the West Georgia real estate market. Angie has won numerous awards for her sales production and is a $1 million member of the National Board of Realtors. She specializes in new home construction and is an accredited buyer agent. Angie is also passionate about giving back and supporting military, veterans, teachers, and public servants. Whether buying or selling, Angie Chavez with Atlanta Communities is the right choice. Call her today at 404-401-0739 or visit her website at angiechavez.atlcommunities.com. Hey, unlike others, Angie will call you back if you don't reach her the first time. That's 404-401-0739.
When it comes to solving complex engineering challenges, there's only one name you need to know: Engineered Solutions of Georgia. Our team of experts has years of experience and uses the latest technology to provide innovative solutions for all your home needs. From foundation repair to waterproofing and drainage solutions, we've got you covered. We work with both residential and commercial clients, and we're committed to providing excellent customer service every step of the way. And with our state-of-the-art equipment and top-quality materials, you can be confident that your project will be completed to the highest standards. So why settle for less when you can have the best? Call Engineered Solutions of Georgia today to schedule your free consultation and see how we can help you tackle any engineering challenge.
Engineered Solutions of Georgia. We guarantee a stable, dry foundation. Residential and commercial. Hey, we do it all. Dial 678 ESOG now.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Paulding County News Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
All of our feature interview pieces here on the Paulding County News Podcast are presented by Credit Union of Georgia.
Let's meet some of the interesting people in our neighborhood.
Missy Kuzak is here with us, Vice President of Student Affairs at Chattahoochee Tech. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
Let me address first that nobody will get confused because Missy and Melissa, we have the same name, but she uses Missy. And I told her off air, I'm like, In my small town, we had, I think, 7 Melissas I went to school with, and every one of them was a Missy, and I wanted to be different. I wanted to be a rebel, so I used Melissa. Not going to confuse us, right?
No.
But we still have the greatest names that have ever been given to any daughters. That's right. Anyway, the reason I wanted Missy to come on the podcast with us is because I had seen an AJC article. It's called Enrollment Jumps at Georgia Technical Colleges Driven by High Demand Jobs. AI is not going to fix your car completely. AI is not going to fix your plumbing or your electrical. Talk a little bit about that. And do you at Chattahoochee Tech see an uptick in enrollment? And what are the students interested in now?
We were really lucky this fall, not just luck. I mean, a lot of it's hard work too, but to have a 9% enrollment increase from this fall to last fall. So we're right where we were pre-COVID. And community colleges took a huge community and technical colleges, because Georgia does not have a true community college system. We kind of fit that bill as well. But they took a huge hit during COVID because so many of our students, college is a luxury. When things were tight during COVID, college had to be the thing that was eliminated from their budgets, which I totally understand. And so we're seeing that swing of enrollment back in that way. But also, I think there is more concern overall over student debt. There's so much talk about student debt, and of course it is out of control and talked about across groups all the time. And so I think people are really concerned about that, the cost of living, inflation, all those things. People are trying to make really great money conscious decisions. We're seeing some students because of that, as a result of that. When the economy is really great, when folks are able to find jobs, a lot of times historically, our enrollment has decreased because people are out in the workforce working. But right now, I think we're seeing people who are like, okay, how can I get training for the least amount of money and the least amount of time, and then be able to go out and not just have a job, but have a career and be able to support my family, be able to make a good living, a really good living. Many of our students do really well, and I would compare what they make to what students who have bachelor's degrees.
We can talk about that too, because I think that's something to point out. There is always the reputation. I think you and I fell into it. 4-year colleges, that's more prestigious, that gives you a better reputation, that gives you a better livelihood. But you just pointed out that's not the case anymore. There's so many 4-year college students who were, well into their lives, almost to middle age, still paying off the debt from college. So the idea is, I pay this for college and I will get reimbursed by my job and it will all be taken care of. But like you said, it's almost as if, and this is Melissa talking, okay, this is not any study or anything, but it's almost as if these universities are taking advantage of the idea that they are prestigious and this charging you for that. But yet, what's the payoff? If I'm still looking for a job and still not working in my profession in my 30s or 40s, then what's wrong here?
I hate to quote numbers, because as soon as I say, well, you're going to make this much, then there's somebody who's like, well, no, right. There's always going to be those outliers. But I think what you have to take into account is exactly what you were saying, is what did I pay for this training versus what am I now making once I leave? Many of our students in our health science professions make excellent livings. Many of them are going to start above 40 and some of them are going to start above 60. And that's fantastic for what really is going to take them in our health science areas. It's going to take them a little bit more than 2 years to finish their associate degree because they're extremely competitive. But even in some of our other areas, which when they think about technical colleges, they think about kind of their daddy's trade school, and it's not the same anymore. Our automotive students, for example, when we take folks through the automotive lab for them to look at it, they're like, it's so clean in here. And I'm like, well, of course it is. How does your car work now? It works with a computer. It's not all grease and, people have these wrong stereotypes. So our automotive students, for example, that's an area that desperately needs employees. Our diesel mechanic students, we can't keep them enrolled in the classes because they're being poached by businesses who need the employees. Our heating and air conditioning students do fantastically. Georgia, you got to have air conditioning. You got to have heat when the winter comes. Those students the same way. Our welding students, our industrial maintenance. When I first started working here, I would have been like, I don't know what an industrial maintenance person does. So that's the person who goes into one of these huge manufacturing facilities and makes sure that all of the elements inside that plant and that business are working.
All right. Well, before we let you go, I have one more question, but first let's talk about how people can learn more about Chat Tech.
The best thing is going to be to visit our website, chattahoocheetech.edu. So it's Chattahoochee spelled out, and then tech is TECH.edu. All the information that a student could ever need is probably 2 or 3 clicks away from that homepage. So everything from admissions applications, information about tours, upcoming events, as well as financial aid, full list of all of our programs and majors, start dates, all the information is there. And also there's contact information for each of those departments should someone want to reach out to an individual department.
Fantastic. All right. My last question is, I'm looking out for my fellow older adults who may be pivoting careers. Do you have people who are full grown adults who've already had a career, maybe already had their families and looking to try something new, or maybe something that they wanted to try and they weren't able to do it before?
Absolutely. So we always have students who felt called to do a certain profession and they ignored it for whatever reason. Nursing is a big one in that area. They felt called to become a nurse and they didn't. And so they'll come back. Many of our students who are in those health science majors already have bachelor's degrees. They may have already worked, or perhaps they earned a bachelor's degree in something that made it hard for them to find a job. And so now they're returning. There is financial aid available even for older students. I think sometimes people assume that's not the case. Georgia has a great financial aid package for its residents, so there are options for older adults. And I know we're not this old, but once we get to the point where we're considered a senior, they can take courses tuition free. Now, they still have to pay the mandatory fees, but there's even that option for folks who are 62 and maybe they've lived a whole life and now they just want to try something new.
I love it. I appreciate you saying that we're not there yet, but that senior exit on my interstate is closer than it ever has been. So it's a privilege to get there. It's a privilege, Missy. Well,
you have
Missy,
a choice.
Exactly. Missy Kuzak, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations on the efforts you're making over at Chat Tech.
Thank you so much for having me.
I love technology as much as anybody, but when banks replace people with machines, I had to draw a line. I've been with the same bank for 20 plus years, and as cool as technology is, I believe the relationship you have with your bank is an important one. My wife used to bake cookies for the people who worked at our bank, and they were our friends. But in the last couple of years, they were all replaced by video tellers. Recently, I sold a vehicle and was paid in cash. I went to deposit it and was told my now former bank no longer accepts cash. Okay. That was it for me. I joined Credit Union of Georgia, a homegrown, not-for-profit cooperative that still offers personalized customer service, a network of more than 30,000 ATMs, and convenient locations. Innovation is great, but trust and relationships still matter, particularly where it comes to your finances. Make the switch today. Get more info at cuofga.org. Credit Union of Georgia, the better way to bank.
We're back with more of your Paulding County News Podcast.
After an 8-year wait, Stranger Things returns to Metro Atlanta for the long-awaited 5th and final season. Delays due to strikes push production, and with the cast now in their college years, the creators may bridge the age gap in Season 5. Season 5 promises new additions, including Linda Hamilton, and the Duffer Brothers vow to unravel more mysteries about the Upside Down. Are you still into Stranger Things?
You know what? I only watched the first season.
Yeah, me too. But there's some diehard fans, but that's a long wait. Filming resumes on the 8th with a likely debut next year. This from the AJC.
From ESPN, many college bowl games to check out tomorrow. We got Wisconsin. They face LSU in the ReliaQuest Bowl at noon on ESPN2. Iowa takes on Tennessee in the Citrus Bowl at 1 p.m. on ABC. Iowa should win that one easily, right, Melissa?
Oh, come on now. He knows I'm from Tennessee. Go Vols! Go Vols!
Liberty faces Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl at 1 p.m. on ESPN. I went to college in the same town as Liberty, but not that school. And Alabama plays Michigan in the Rose Bowl at 5 p.m. on ESPN. And finally, Texas faces Washington in the Sugar Bowl at 8:45, that too on ESPN.
The funny thing is, I wanted to go to Tennessee because I wanted to go to a big sports school, and now I find it's kind of stressful. You know, I probably would have been happier at an art school where I didn't have to stress over people giving me crap for being from Tennessee. In 1958, Floyd Parker Culbreth lost her wallet at the Plaza Theater in Atlanta. Fast forward to last August when the current owner, Christopher Escobar of the Plaza Theater, discovered it during renovations. The wallet had been stuck at the Plaza Theater all this time. Fueled by curiosity, his wife, Nicole, decided to play internet sleuth, uncovering the wallet's owner through old credit cards. Connecting with Wes Jones, Culbreth's grandson, they discovered Floyd's philanthropic legacy. The Culbreth Cup, a golf tournament raising $500,000 for cerebral palsy. Culbreth's daughter, Thea Chamberlain, received the wallet, which included, now this is what the wallet had in it from 1958, okay? $5, raffle tickets for a car that Floyd didn't win, a Rich's credit card. Anybody remember Rich's department store?
Wow.
The PTA membership cards, and a calendar from 1959.
I
think that's kind of cool. Yeah, this from the AJC. And we'll have final thoughts after this.
Whether you're new to church, have been a Christian for many years, or looking for a fresh start, you're welcome at New Season Church. New Season is a place where people can believe in God, belong to a family of believers, and become fully devoted followers. We exist so that people far from God may experience life in Christ and become fully engaged followers. Join us for one of our 2 Sunday services, 9 or 11 a.m.
Hi, this is Pastor Steve Flockhart. Whether you're new to the Paulding community or have been here since the day you were born, New Season Church is a place where all are welcome. From our exciting children and student ministries to our engaging Bible studies and small groups and events, I promise New Season Church has a place for you.
New Season Church, just off Highway 278 at 4457 Atlanta Highway in Hiram. We exist so that people far from God may experience life in Christ and become fully engaged followers. New Season looks forward to seeing your entire family this Sunday, and feel free to check us out online at newseason.cc. We believe what comes into our minds when we think about God is the most important thing about us. We look forward to seeing you Sunday at 9 or 11 a.m. at New Season Church in Hiram. Thanks for listening to today's Paulding County News Podcast. Follow and subscribe to hear the latest news from the Paulding County News Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. For you, about you, and from you. Get involved in the conversation at 404-997-8655 or info@bgadgroup.com. Did you know over 50% of Americans listen to podcasts weekly? Make sure you join us for our next episode, and be sure to share this podcast on social media with your friends and family. Add us to your Alexa Flash Briefing or your Google Home Briefing, and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. All rights reserved.
This podcast aggregate content from other sources for informational purposes and is in no way trying to infringe on the copyrights or businesses of any other entities. All content posted up on the site is used under the Fair Use Copyright Law 107. All audio, media, and articles are copyrighted to the original owners. All audio on this podcast are embedded from YouTube.com and are owned by their respective copyright owners. No audio information are copyrighted or stored on our servers. The court ruled that linking or embedding copyrighted videos is not copyright infringement, even if the source video was uploaded without permission. However, we will gladly remove any audio clip upon valid request from respective copyright owners. Any owners also have the option to disable embedding his YouTube videos on other websites. News and press articles are owned by the respective copyright owners. Where possible, the appropriate accreditation or source of the article is given on the same page. The audio-video files on this site are for listening purposes only. Downloading of these files to one's computer is strictly prohibited. They are owned by the respective copyright owners. If it is in the organization's belief that the usage or specific content used on our site containing copyrighted knowledge conflicts with authorized use and or does not comply with fair use as described in the context, contact us through our contact page and we will remove the offending content immediately. Thanks for listening to the Paulding County News Podcast.